Warning. The language used on The Real Rush may be offensive to some viewers. Don't say I didn't fucking warn you.
Hey yo, I want to kick off this episode of The Real Rush by sending an epic Rush shout out to one and only Kelvin Harrison Jr. Look at that! What I said right there was, look how goddamn happy he looks right now. And hell, if I was old Kelvin, or young Kelvin, I mean, I got him happy too. I mean, the boy was in It Comes at Night a couple years ago, then the Sanitation, and then he was in Loose a couple months ago, and now he's about to break the waves with Waves next week. So Kelvin Harrison, I told you, there's a man that you got to keep on your radar. Keep it on your radar. Keep it on your radar. Kelvin, keep on teasing, baby. Kelvin, everybody up in this motherfucker, you know what time it is. It's time to bang your head to the opening rap set. That sure did give my cheekbones a hell of a workout there. Yeah. So that means that your boy is, loose. Like our boy Kelvin Harrison Jr. was in a couple months ago. What is that? Yeah! Anywho, what up, y'all? It is your boy, or I am your boy. Let's try that again. I done fucked up the intro to my own show. What's happening, y'all? It's your boy J-Dub, and welcome to episode 59 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube, baby. And episode 59, as of this episode, I got to break down a little bit of ballistic statistics here for you. Check this out, because this is too ironic to just leave out there in the universe for nobody to ever know or see besides moi. So, check this out. This is episode 59 of The Real Rush on YouTube, right? The Real Rush has been going on since January 19th, 2017. In that time, since then, as of this episode actually, as of today, I should say, or as of yesterday, I should say, since we, that's when we wrapped up this week's rush, so to speak, I've rushed 559 total movies in the theater. All no repeats, all seen for the first time by these eyes, all in the theater. Jam. 559, baby. Now, where does that put us in our standings season to season? Well, we know that we've already beaten season 1's record of 164 movies, I believe season 1 was. We checked that up. Now, last season we ended up with 215 movies. Where are we going to stand for this season? Well, where we stand for this season, we at 180 so far for this season, which ain't too shabby seeing as in this time last season we were at 181 movies seen in the theater. So where the hell is it gonna come up to be? I plugged in some numbers and it looks like that we were supposed to fall like just short of our record, but hey, there's movies being added to like the actual like box office ticket all the time, so who the hell knows where it's gonna end up, baby. So we just gonna keep on rushing on, and let's just keep on rushing on. Yeah, baby. So, how y'all doing? What's good? We in between holidays and shit, Veterans Day was last weekend, and we gonna have Thanksgiving and whatnot coming up in the next few weeks. But in between then and then, we got what's going on right now. And what's going on right now is the fact that I got 4 movies to break down for y'all. This episode's Real Rush tickets. Let's go ahead and get on down to the brass tacks of those 4 movies, as I mentioned in episode 58 last weekend. As a matter of fact, do we need to go in the exact order? I think we're going to go in this exact order that we broke it down for you at the end of last week's episode. So let's go ahead and kick things off this episode's Real Rush ticket with this week's epic, hotly anticipated new release was supposed to drop back in June. It was. But you know what? It may have worked out in its favor that it didn't drop until this late into the year. And I am talking about the new biographical joint, Ford V Ferrari.
Yeah, also looking at all here, sir.
Now, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be pronounced Ford v Ferrari or Ford versus Ferrari, Ford versus Ferrari, but hey, this is what it is. It says Ford v Ferrari. We're gonna say Ford versus Ferrari, Ford versus Ferrari, Ford verse, not even verses. We just say verse, or we'll say however the hell we want, because that's how we do here on The Real Rush. But this joint, you see there on the poster, it's got Matt Damon, Christian Bale, starring respectively as American car maker, esteemed, I should say, American car maker, storied American car maker, Mr. Carroll Shelby, played by Matt Damon, and British car driver, race car driver, best driver in the world, Ken Miles, played by Christian Bale. Now, Ford versus Ferrari, it tells the tale of how, so many years of Ferrari winning the 24 Hours of Le Mans race. Ford wants that title, baby. Ford wants it so bad that they can taste it, and Ford knows that they have the capability to beat Ferrari in that very race. So they go towards the likes. They commission the likes of Mr. Carroll Shelby and Mr. Ken Miles, and they team up to fucking build the car, man. The Ford GT, or the Ford GT. Shelby. This joint. So we got Matt Damon, we got Christian Bale, we got Tracy Letts, you got Josh Lucas, a whole bunch of people up in this motherfucker. This is directed by James Mangold, same guy that did Copland and Walk the Line and Logan from a couple years ago. So he's got quite the filmography going on here. Yo, I didn't even get to see this in IMAX, as it was released at the Airbus, but I was not able to make it to the Airbus on Thursday night to see it, as the schedule did not meet up. So I watched this at the Angelica on Thursday night, and they got an awesome system. Yeah, man, where do I start with Ford versus Ferrari and the story of, did Shelby and Miles achieve their dream of taking the title at the 1966 24 Hours of Le Mans? Another historical biographical film that, if you don't know the true story behind it, I recommend that you go in not, checking up on it before, seeing it, because I think it will, it could ruin the movie experience for you. So, where do I begin with Ford v Ferrari? Number one, we're just going to go ahead and say resounding hallelujah. So 2.5 hours this movie is. 2 hours and 32 minutes. Does not feel like 2 hours and 32 minutes. I would say it felt more like an hour and 45, maybe an hour and 50 minutes. Because just like being in the seat of a race car going 220 plus miles an hour, the movie picks up just from the beginning and doesn't stop until the ending credits start rolling. One thing that I want to point out, alright, so let's go ahead and get down to the performances. So Matt Damon, on fucking point as Carroll Shelby. And then you got Christian Bale, on fucking point as Ken Miles. So on point that the point that I want to point out the damn most is that this looks like the role that Christian Bale has been the most comfortable doing, has had the most fun performing in quite the longest time, because it looked like he was back in his own skin. He didn't have to do any type of different dialects or anything. He didn't have to do any type of crazy ass body transformation. All he had to do was shed the pounds that he had from last year from playing Dick Cheney in Vice last year, and he shed something like 70 pounds in 6 months. But he said no longer doing any crazy body transformation shit after Vice. But he just looked like he was just the most himself in the role of Ken Miles, and it looked like he was, the most at home that he's been in playing in any role that he's been in quite a while. Like I said, no different after changing up of the voices or of the body or anything like that. Just the most Bale could be Bale as somebody else. Does that make sense? That should make some sense. I hope that makes sense. It probably doesn't make any sense, but I'm going to throw that out there anyway. But anyway, Bale looked the most at home in his role as Ken Miles. The driving sequences, yeah. And this is why I would warrant seeing this again if I do get the chance to. I would definitely want to see this in some IMAX or some Dolby Cinema. Well, most certainly the IMAX, because I know that at certain points, I know the screen's got to pop at certain points. Yeah. So the racing sequences, the visual effects, the sound, all on point. Those two aspects alone have got to they've got to be accoladed and be esteemed with some type of recognition when it does come awards time in the next couple weeks. Overall, great film for all ages, ladies and gents. I don't think it's anything too intense for the youngins. Obviously, it is PG-13, so I mean, anybody younger than 13, of course, be a fucking parent and use your discretion. But I don't think it's really too harmless really too harmful for anybody of any age. I think it's a good family film. I think, like I was saying a couple moments ago, it could have been a summer blockbuster if it had dropped at its original release date of June 28th, but with it coming out at the holiday time, this is the perfect time for this type of movie to drop. As far as performance-wise go, awards-wise, not too sure on that. But, hey, I kind of want to liken this to last year's Bohemian Rhapsody. As great as I thought that movie was, and personally, I thought it was one of my favorite movies of last year, I didn't see that getting a Best Picture nomination. Ford vs. Ferrari could very well be in the same bucket. The dramatics, great. Screenplay, awesome. Everything about this movie was great. I want to go ahead and give this like a 5-star or like a 10 or whatever, the highest ranking is, but it's most certainly getting the Rush pick for movie of the week. It's getting the Rush golf clap. Actually, well, it's getting one of the Rush golf claps of the week. But yo, Ford vs. Ferrari, playing everywhere, y'all. Go check this joint out. This is the one that everybody's been wondering about. This is the one that everybody wants to go see. Yes, you want to go see Ford vs. Ferrari. Hands down, one of this year's finest pieces of film. One of the best movies of 2K19. You should not, will not be disappointed at Ford vs. Ferrari. Playing everywhere. Go see it in the highest quality possible, y'all. Boom. Next up on this episode's Real Rush Ticket, let's go over to another wide release of this weekend, this weekend's ticket, I guess you could say. And this is, excuse me, as I came to find out, not a reboot, so to speak. This is actually a continuation of the film franchise. So we're talking about the latest installment of Charlie's Angels, y'all. Now, in this set of Charlie's Angels, you got Kristen Stewart, Naomi Scott, and Ella Balinska, and you got multiple Bosleys running around the joint. There's Elizabeth Banks, and you got Patrick Stewart. Jamin Hansu shows up in it. Now, this one follows this particular group of angels as they look to stop. Naomi Scott plays this somewhat of a scientist, I guess you could say, who has developed a smart way to feed energy into homes and businesses and stuff and such. But of course, with any type of source that can harness that kind of energy and be used for good, that means they can fucking also be weaponized up in this bitch. And of course, there's somebody out there who wants to weaponize it. So it's up to the angels to save the day and save the world from, you know, this harmless thing being turned into such a harmful threat. Now, I was going into this movie, and I said this in my Instagram post yesterday. I said, I'm here for Naomi Scott's smoke, fire, and the whole fucking package. Now, I know, that sounds very superficial. And that's, in all seriousness, obviously, I hope you did notice that I was joking when I said that. I don't just go to movies just for the eye candy. There has to be some type of substance to a movie. Even on movies where I do say, like, you don't go to, like, certain, like, Rambo movies or something like that for, like, the Oscar award-winning performances or anything. But there is, like, you know, there's supposed to be, like, plots and substances or certain something there that you are there for. Something there that is going to keep you, you know, satisfied, you know? Like Rambo Last Blood. I was very satisfied by that. Charlie's Angels. How do I put this? Aside from a couple of chuckles, there was nothing there. There was nothing there, man. I mean, there were a couple of chuckles from the audience. A little bit harder than I chuckled. And even the group of high school kids that was sitting behind me, so it was about half and half, like half dudes, half chicks. And even listening to them when, like, some dudes would come on the screen or whatnot, and you could hear the girls all be like, oh, he's so cute, he's so cute. At some points, even listening to that was more entertaining than what was going on in this movie. I couldn't tell you what was going on in this movie, y'all. Aside from what I just laid down as the plot, there was nothing there that was just grabbing me. This did not hit like the 2000 Charlie's Angels with Cameron Diaz, Drew Barrymore, and Lucy Liu. And this is supposed to be a continuation of that very same series. But you might have to overhaul, reboot this one just from this one, y'all. Because, not saying that it would make, you know, the bottom whatever list if I was to have that kind of list going on this year. But if there was a bottom list of something for 2K19, this would most certainly make it with along with the countdown. Good Lord. Like, I don't even know what else to say about it. There was just nothing there. And of course, I mean, yeah, you got, you know, Kristen Stewart and Ella Balinska and, you know, Naomi Scott and Elizabeth Banks and, you know, jumping around and whatnot. And, you know, they're great to look at, but an hour and 58 minutes of that, there's got to be something more to it. So, congrats on your efforts, most certainly. If you're a Charlie's Angels fan, there are some throwbacks to, like, the series and to the prior two movies that are I guess are worthy or fan worthy. The best part of the movie, if you stay through the ending credits, there are some pretty decent cameos in it. In my honest opinion, those were the best parts of the movie. Aside from that, not really missing much. You want to see this in the theater? Matinee this at best. And yeah, go from there. But Charlie's Angels, I think that even this one would disappoint even the biggest Charlie's Angels like TV show fan. And you know why. I try to find the positive in everything, in every movie, even movies that get shat on completely, I got something for you on it. But I got nothing for you on Charlie's Angels, y'all. So, boom. Take that for what you can, for what it's worth. So, Charlie's Angels, playing everywhere. That's one of the rare Rush See at your own risk. Designations. Matinee at your own risk. So, boom, that's Charlie's Angels, y'all. If I happen to give it a second viewing and come up with a different review on it later on, I'll definitely let you know. Or if you happen to beg to differ on this particular movie, let me know and we'll converse on the issue. But moving right along to what's next on the Real Rush ticket, what might be a little bit better for your movie palette. What I found better for my movie palette as I saw it after Charlie's Angels yesterday. Now this is the new Helen Mirren, Ian McKellen vehicle called The Good Liar. And this is based off a novel by Mr. Nicholas Searle. And this stars Mr. Sir Ian McKellen as an older 70s, younger 80-something con artist who basically preys on older women online. You know, wealthy older women on like dating sites and such. You know, pretty much just take them for their money and whatnot. So he ends up, and it's not just that he's conning on. He's got other side games and shit going on too. And he comes across old Helen Mirren, recently widowed, and turns out, you know, she's sitting on quite the nest egg. So, you know, through his little network of schemes and whatnot, works his way into her life. But how deep can old Roy, played by Ian McKellen, you know, work his way into Miss Helen's life? Or, you know, will he actually start to fall for the woman? Or is he not the only one, you know, really versed in the art of fact versus fiction? So like I said, you got Helen Mirren, Ian McKellen. This should have like awards material written all over it just from those two, just from hearing those two names alone, right? Right? Not quite, but at the same time, they're quite the decent thriller. The only thing that I found had a little bit of a qualm about the Good Liar was the fact that, okay, that's an hour and 49 minutes. It's shorter than Charlie's Angels, that's for damn sure. Charlie's Angels, an hour and 58 minutes, and it felt like it was well over 2 hours. Another problem, but we ain't going back to that no more. Good Liar, hour and 49 minutes, felt quite about that time. So nothing over, nothing under. It does take a little bit to get, you know, the story moving a little bit, but the payoff with The Good Liar is so worth it. Keep that in mind going into it, and you will have yourselves a hell of a time at this thriller, y'all. Quite more, it seemed like, for the older audiences. A lot of, well, it seemed like it was at least the older audience that I was part of last night, but I think all ages, well, obviously not the youngins on this one, but this is rated R, but The Good Liar, this is one for all ages. I wouldn't sleep on this one. Like I said, it may not be like Oscar caliber or anything, but I would go ahead and give, I would still hit Good Liar up with a 7. With a solid 7 minimum, most certainly. Good Liar should be playing just about everywhere, y'all. Great, really good, pretty decent. Yeah, 7. Mystery thriller. Go get something different on your palate. I know I say that a lot too, but that's something different too. I think that this is something that could easily be slept on until you find it on like your streaming services or some shit one of these days. But just as I said about what did we say, Motherless Brooklyn a couple weeks ago, this, aside from Ford vs Ferrari, would also be a quite fine date night movie. So The Good Liar, find it where it is playing and go check it out where you can find it. Absolutely, y'all. Good Liar. And last but most certainly not least on this episode's Real Rush ticket is a new independent film that is penned and stars Mr. Shia LaBeouf. And this one is called Honey Boy. That was a mark. was written by Shia LaBeouf. He actually wrote this as a form of therapy when he was in rehab a couple years ago, stemming from a couple of his from his publicized legal troubles. And this actually tells the tale of a child turned adult actor named Otis Lort, played by Noah Jupe as a youngin, and then Lucas Hedges as an adult. And it tells his tale about how he not only matures from his child into adulthood actor, but some of the things that he picked up from his abusive and alcoholic father along the way, Jake Lort, played by Shia LaBeouf. So it's almost like a meta biographical story that he's portraying on screen here. And it does look like he's pulling a lot from his own life, and that I think it even says on the movie poster there that that's a pretty courageous thing to do. Put your own life, not only put that on screen like that, but to actually be portraying, part of your own personal demons on screen like that. So the performances in it, hella driven. Very powerful. Quite the tale of how one, not even if you're dealing with somebody like who's dealt with like coming up as a famous person their whole lives, but just anybody who's had to deal with something that's haunted them from their past, or any type of personal demon or anything of that sort. Like I said in my short little Instagram review right after this movie hit me at that. It hit me to that core. So much so that I gotta tie this as Real Rush pick for movie of the week, along with Ford vs Ferrari, and as for Real Rush golf clap of the week, the Mr. Shia LaBeouf and director Alma Harrell. Great job, Lucas Hedges, Noah Jupe, everybody who I just mentioned there. Y'all gotta keep on your motherfucking radar, y'all. If you've had anything to deal with in your past, this might, there could be some trigger warnings in this movie, but man, powerful. When I say don't sleep on movies, I know I just said a couple moments ago, don't sleep on The Good Liar, but Honey Boy, limited release, currently playing up at the Angelica, but wherever you are in the world, ladies and gents, check your IMDb, check your Fandango, check whatever your movie Showtime site is, find Honey Boy. Don't sleep on this joint. This one, instant one of this year's best, along with Ford vs Ferrari. So, like I said a couple weeks ago, remember how I was stating that the top 11 list that I came up with back at the end of July? Yeah, that's pretty much just shaken. I don't know how much of that still remains or will remain when it comes time to creating the top 11 list of this year, or the actual top 11 list overall of this year. I don't know exactly how that's going to come to fruition, but wow, Honey Boy. It'll make you kind of like nervously laugh at some points, but it's one of the realest and one of the most down-to-earth tales that I've ever seen portrayed on the screen, on a super big screen. So, bravo, once again to everybody involved with Honey Boy. And Honey Boy, anybody watching this right now, I would go ahead and, this is what I did. I made Honey Boy and Ford vs Ferrari my Thursday night double feature. I did Honey Boy first and Ford vs Ferrari. Personally, that worked out perfectly for me. Emotion-wise, that is what I would recommend. Y'all do the same. But hey, if you want to live it on the edge, or if it's not working out, this should be a great double feature for y'all. But yeah, Honey Boy, please don't sleep on this one. And Shia LaBeouf is coming into his own. The man never ceases to amaze. That's what I like about this cat. He never ceases to amaze. It's like he has his own like type of style when it comes to what is portrayed on screen, like his own style of filmmaking, his own style of like film writing. So don't sleep on Shia's shit either. Just because the man's had some controversial shit going on in his life, like he's making a bit of a resurgence, and I wouldn't even call it a comeback. But don't sleep on Shia's shit. Thank you, Shia. Boom, Honey Boy. See it where you can find it, y'all. Woo!
Hey, you sloppy bastards at the movie theater. Why don't you pick up after your goddamn selves?
That pretty much goes ahead and leads us to go ahead and say that that's a wrap for episode 59 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. I do want to go ahead and mention that this past Friday was the third Friday of the month, which meant that it was the third Friday of the month's Bandit show, y'all. And what an awesome show it was. The crowd eating it up at every single twist and turn that we could give them over just a little bit over 2 hours. We gave them a little bit of extra this past show. So thanks to everybody that came out. Once again, always proud of my fellow Bandit crew, always holding it down, always repping it hardcore for the Stagecoach Theater Company. I haven't got to pull out my Matthew McConaughey impression. I had never done that before, y'all. And that's just a little bit of a taste. If you didn't come out, well, that's what I'm calling a Stagecoach Prime J-Dub impression. Certain things that just hit with the crowd, if they hit with the crowd a certain way, I reserve those for Stagecoach Bandits performances only. So if you want to see such things as Matthew McConaughey or even Pat Collins or some other shit that I and my fellow bandits have been working on, you can. That wasn't the last show of the year. We still got one more month. Still got one more month, and the next upcoming third Friday of the month Bandit show is gonna be on December 20th, 7:30 p.m. As always, up at the Stagecoach Theater Company, Ashburn, Virginia. You can go online and get your tickets right now. $12 online, $15 at the door. Of course, I always recommend that you do go ahead and get your tickets online, because with the online only promo code John, all caps, you can get yourself a discount. Plus, you don't want to run the risk of showing up to the door, find out that the show sold out, and then having to kick rocks. We've had to do that to people before, and I don't want that to happen to you. But where can you go to find your third Friday of the month tickets to the third Friday of the month Bandits improv show up at Stagecoach Theater Company, Ashburn, Virginia? Huh? You can go online and find those at stagecoachtc.com/stagecoach-bandits. Once again, that is Stagecoach, T as in Tom, C as in Coach, .com/stagecoach-bandits. Promo code John, all caps. Wear that shit the fuck out. Come out, have some non-political and non-religious hell of a time laughs, y'all. And coming up for your asses, episode 60 of The Real Rush, right here on YouTube next weekend. Ooh, we got a hell of a, I say this every episode too, we got a hell of an episode coming up for you. But I really mean that shit next weekend, because episode 60, I'm going to have, excuse me, we're going to have reviewed for you. We're going to have, got Frozen 2. I still got to watch the first Frozen, which I plan on doing. I got the Steelbook a couple of weeks ago from Best Buy, the Ultimate 4K Steelbook a couple of weeks ago. So we're going to pop that in here within the next couple of days so I can, know what the hell I'm going into. Because you got a big-ass movie like that, I can't walk into not knowing the backstory. So, boom. And I did just admit that I had not seen Frozen. And there is a backstory on why I had not seen the original Frozen. And it's not a pleasant story. But that'll be a different time for another day. Maybe next week. I don't know. But yes, we'll have Frozen 2 reviewed for you. We also going to have Hello Neighbor. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Won't you be mine? I'm going to cry all the way through that fucking movie. I already know it. I've been looking forward seeing Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers for the longest time. So we're going to have that review for you. We also have 21 Bridges, the new Chadwick Boseman Also produced by the Russo brothers. Yeah, that shit's looking pretty tight. Then we got the new Trey Edward Schultz film that's raising a lot of headway or getting a lot of percolating a lot of people's radar. And I mentioned it earlier. It's called Waves. Kevin Harrison Jr. He's in it. But yeah, Waves. We're gonna see that next week. Definitely looking forward to that one. And as of just before this episode, I went ahead and got myself a ticket to an early access screening. So next week, I will have the review for you for Knives Out, ladies and gents. So you want to tune in to episode 60. That's another 10 decade what do you call it? Every 10 or something? I don't fucking know, but we're entering to the next series or whatever. 10 series. So yeah, so episode 60. Tune in on next week. In the meantime, as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, any shit like that for your boy, don't hesitate to go ahead and type those on into the YouTube page where you're reviewing this week's episode right here, right now. To everybody who's subscribed to The Real Rush right here on YouTube thus far, thank you for doing so. If you haven't done so thus far, or if you haven't subscribed yet, what the hell are you waiting for? You want to be the first to know when your boy drops a new episode? And please, spread the word of The Real Rush like everybody should be spreading love these days, ladies and gents. So that means go out, hug a motherfucker, and tell them about The Real Rush. Boom. And don't forget that The Real Rush does have replay value. So any movie that's come out over the last year or so, you want to know what your boy J-Dub thought about it, all you got to do is go up to the YouTube search bar at the top of the page here and type in quotation marks The Real Rush, followed by, outside of the quotation marks, the name of the movie that you're looking for, and then boom, instant movie review on demand for you, because your boy and The Real Rush got you covered for life, son. And as always, you can follow your boy on Instagram for my live movie check-ins as they occur, and that is at JDubChampion, hashtag The Real Rush. And for The Real Rush, ladies and gents, I am your boy J-Dub. Thank you for tuning in once again to The Real Rush right here on YouTube. Remember, when you're at the movies, don't be doing all the chittering and the chatting and the looking at the phone, and even put the smart watches on dim. I guarantee that any conversation, any text message, even the time, all that bullshit will be waiting for you after the movie is all said and done. Enjoy yourselves at the movies, ladies and gents. Have fun, y'all. Love J-Dub. And I got my voice back. We'll see you next weekend. Peace. You got the tape, mate. You got the tape, mate. We got the tape, mate. Who got the tape, mate? We got the tape, mate. You got the tape, mate. Mike. You got the tape, mate. He got the tape, mate. We got the tape, mate. Mike. Tape, mate. 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 Tape, mate.